Um,
Joe, are you
um,
Joseph?
um,
Oh my Christ. Joseph, are you with us? It's a
oh,
new
oh,
recording.
oh, sorry,
Joseph,
sorry.
hey,
Oh,
hey,
oh, I
it's
forgot we were
me,
doing
Seth.
this. Sorry.
Yeah, this is a new episode of the Unresolved Dependencies podcast, Joe.
Okay. Yeah, we're still doing this podcast. Okay, that's good.
Yes, we're still doing that. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, that's good. Okay, we've not been
Fantastic,
cancelled.
fantastic.
We've not been cancelled yet, or we've not been forced to sort of abandon the idea. We're actually on episode 9. Would you believe? That's pretty
Well, at
impressive.
the moment when we're recording this episode, we're not yet cancelled. This is true. This
Yeah.
is so
Okay.
true.
But
Yeah,
I'm sure we can. I'm sure we can rectify that for
we
sure.
can figure it out. Yeah, sure.
So, how have you
Right.
been, Sebastian? I've not seen you for a bit.
Well, this was mostly on you because one of us two did an offline retreat and was not available for 2 weeks, basically, and was finding his inner Joe while I was working and
Yeah, I mean,
suffering in the German
how
heat
dare I
wave.
do that? How dare I do that? Take a week and a half off to do that. I mean, it's so
Why?
arrogant.
Yeah, why? Why did you do that? I felt empty without you.
Okay. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad at least one person missed me then. So that's always good.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, but like maybe before we before we start into our regular features, how was it? Want to tell us the
It,
like who's the new Joe? Who is that I'm having a podcast with, and how is this affecting our relationship here?
it's the same Joe. I
It's
think. I
the
think I'm
same
still the
Joe.
same.
Mhm.
Although I did learn on the retreat that we're constantly sort of changing. So we'll get into some of the details there. But it was good. But honestly, like physically and mentally, one of the most challenging things I've ever done in my life, for sure.
So, what exactly was there, or how was this done, or like what did you have to do? I mean, there was, you told me there's like no internet, which is not too bad in recent times, but also you didn't have access to your phone and stuff like that, right? So what were the rules you played after?
There were quite a few rules. There were precepts, as they called it. So you weren't allowed to kill anything on there. You weren't allowed to talk to anyone during the week.
Oh,
You
sounds
weren't
great.
allowed to steal from people. They had these 7 different precepts. It's all
Mm.
kind of aligned to the sort of the technique, which I'll go on and sort of talk about in a short while. But yeah, literally just 10 days uh, with people on your own, not speaking, and trying to learn this ancient meditation technique. So it was, as I say, very surreal, very strange to be out without devices for 10 days, but actually quite refreshing
Mm.
in a way because it proved that, okay, yeah, as humans, we can actually live without these smartphones. These smartphones are
No,
not
we can.
required every second of the day in order for us to survive as humans. So that's quite sort of reassuring.
So then riddle me that. How did you answer your work emails during that week?
I did not. There's this really great thing. It's called an out of office, Sebastian. You may not
Oh,
have heard of it before.
how did you burn your GitHub Copilot and Cloud tokens during this week?
I didn't. I committed the
Gosh.
cardinal sin. I just let those credits just sit there, let them go to
No.
waste. So no developer was able to use them. I didn't consume, copious amounts of water, data center power consumption for that particular week. So yeah, I'm a terrible human. What can I say?
What a waste of human capacity.
What a waste! What a waste of potential vibe coding. Now
Yeah.
no one is going to get their cat themed web application that generates meme images every 10 seconds.
Or, or the second.
What a loss for humanity that is. What a
Yes.
loss for humanity
That's
that is.
just, well, like the 103rd purple themed web page for your local businesses next to you. this is
Exactly,
this
exactly.
is like the number one spot I get to receive that. I actually do have a fun fact for that. So why it's purple, like, or why AI themes are like very often purple. It's
Okay, I'm
because,
interested.
do you want to know it?
I want to know. I think everyone wants to know now. Yeah.
It's because that the color scheme of code in, for example, Visual Studio Code, so the text color scheme, um, in the dark mode is very often from that palette which has a lot of purple in it.
Mm.
And this is just like how a lot of LLMs are trained. So that is just naturally a very recurrent color in their training data. And that's why a lot of AI designs are blue, purple, and there's always a dark theme of that because all of the training data relies on that.
See, I thought you were going to say it's because there's a bias in the data set towards Prince's back catalogue of albums.
Right.
So,
Much
but
more
no, that's
easier.
also quite that's also quite interesting there as well.
Yeah, it's much more easier. It's just very random that like most of the data they're trained on is just like within that. Yep, that's with that.
Exactly.
But maybe let's because you had your offline retreat, you are the same guy, but like of course with like more values now. You
Maybe, maybe.
oh, you didn't have a transfer to your not so stressful first class business life.
No, it's all fine. I'm still back with my obsession over pointless features that we have in this podcast. Speaking of which, of
Mm.
course, we have got Joe's Travels. I will continue this feature. We will get somebody emailing in one of these days, I'm sure. But yes, if you were interested with this thing last time, the answer to the previous clue was Hereford. That is where the retreat was, just a little
Mm-hmm.
bit sort of kind of further south of Hereford in the UK. So well done if you did come up with that answer. Not well done if you did for not emailing in. If you did want to email us with an answer, you can do so anytime or indeed any topic. hello@unresolveddependencies.com. We'd be happy to hear from you. And I have a new clue for you for this week. I'm
Mm.
actually traveling again next week. So
Of
next
course, you're
week,
traveling next week.
of course, I'm traveling. Of course, it's obvious, yeah. So the clue is I'm going to a place that's named after a very famous Wolverine, and which has a fish pond that was completed in the year 1800. Where am I going next week? Let us know.
Wait, the place is named after Wolverine, the guy from the
A
Marvel comic.
famous Wolverine.
I
A
find
famous
there
Wolverine.
there are multiple, but it's like
Well,
not the.
if you subscribe to the multiverse theory, then yes, you are
Mm,
correct. But I've said too much potentially. So yeah, do let us know the answer. hello@unresolveddependencies.com. We would love to hear from you. But
I'm
really,
confused.
nobody cares about this feature. Everyone cares about what you were eating. So we need to know, Sebastian. Tell me,
You
what have you
need
been
you need to
while
know.
I've been
Is
not
this
killing things and not eating meat? What have you been eating to
I
make up for
how obsessed were you during your offline retreat for this feature and to know like what could he have eaten right now while I'm sitting in offline retreat?
well, mentally, it was a weird thing. I had really good meals there. I'll go into talk about in a few
Mhm.
moments. But mentally, I think I was at the stage where, okay, if you'd given me just like some dry crackers, then I'd be like, oh yeah, this is amazing. This is the best food I've ever had in my life. So everything
Nice.
was kind of elevated a little bit and stuff like that. But there was no meat there because obviously
Oh, there
killing
was
meat
no meat. I I
because
had
meat involves killing
I had
animals. So
some chicken, to be fair. Again, I know, but this
you like your
time
chicken? Yeah.
I like my chicken, yes. But this time it was more special because it was not cooked by me. It was cooked by Microsoft actually.
Oh,
No,
interesting.
well, I visited Microsoft Germany in Munich last week, and there, of course, I also had lunch in their canteen. And
Oh,
during the World Cup, they have different World Cup meals on each day. So each day has a different, basically, country, which is a nice idea because there are like 5 billion countries at this World Cup, and you can get just a lot of different meals then out of that. And on the day I went there, there was Turkish, so Turkish dish.
mm,
So it was a mixture of salad and vegetables, and so vegetables on the side, and chicken with his still with the skin and stuff like that, but very tasty, and some couscous rice and stuff like that. So very tasty, very nice. I cannot point out all of the ingredients, but it was very delicious and was great. And yeah, so Microsoft Canteen always has a lot of good options, as well in Germany, surprisingly. So usually I do get the favor to sometimes eat at the Redmond campus in their canteen, and it's so good options in food. But also the Munich canteen is quite nice, and with their fresh food there and great, fantastic salad bar, amazing.
I'm really
Yeah,
curious and maybe a little bit scared on what they do for England to celebrate the England team. Is it just like what, baked beans, happy
I think
faces,
there's
and
just baked
fish
beans.
fingers? Baked beans, yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Once I was in the canteen in Bangalore in India, and it's pretty much a hassle to me to figure out like what can I eat because everything is super hot and
I see. Zu
and
scharf,
it's
yeah.
spicy as fuck. And I'm like, okay, what can I eat? I would like to have some chicken if possible. And then like people like, you need to try this. maybe this fits. And mostly it doesn't. No, but it's
It,
also very good.
the,
There are a
the,
lot
the,
of
the,
vegetables, very healthy. So usually Microsoft canteens are very good in terms of the quality and the variance of different food. So I have hope for Microsoft offices in Great Britain, but
I
I've
wouldn't hold out
never
hope.
never been there, so
Yeah,
I
it
cannot
will be
tell.
something. It'll be something not from these islands, basically, and stuff like that. So yeah, basically, we yeah, our gift to the world is that, yeah, we basically just stole everyone else's cuisine and made it our own, basically.
Mm,
So that is
that makes sense. Yeah. Anyways, I think English cuisine is just breakfast, and then
correct.
everything after that is Indish.
Exactly. But
I
no,
think
chicken's good. Chicken's a good choice.
yes, always good choice.
Always down for some chicken. I'm a huge, no matter whether it's a chicken Nando's, whether it's maybe some fried chicken and stuff like that. So yeah, I think that's a good solid choice. I would definitely go for that myself.
Yeah. Do you know what's also a good choice for the future and development?
What would that be?
Code apps.
Code apps. Oh yes, I've been
Mhm.
talking about code apps with you today, haven't I?
Yeah,
Um,
you showed
so
me. What did you show me? Like your can this code app run Doom? And then I was like,
Exactly. I'm going to do a LinkedIn post. I think this might also be a session that I submit as well. But you know how that whole sort of thing. Okay, everyone. The aim of any sort of technology. So you get like a smart calculator. You get like one of those pregnancy tests. It's always about okay, that's great, but can it run Doom? So the
hmm,
greatest test for any technology, any tool is, okay, can it run Doom? And I can confirm. I need to just deploy it out properly, make sure it sort of works in a model-driven app and stuff like that. But with code apps, you can potentially do a sort of have a sort of working application there, which plays Doom. Just bring your Doom WAD file, bring it into there, and you're then able to then sort of then play Doom in Power Platform. And that's got to be the ultimate sort of proof that this is a excellent platform. The fact that you can play Doom in it.
can we hook this up? So just a theory. Now, if someone's doing this out there, I want to have the revenue part of the revenue. So we have a code app that plays Doom, and the sprites of the enemies are then the pictures of your colleagues from Graph, for example, from Teams.
See, this is what I want to explore next in terms of,
Mm.
okay, so the process for creating the code app is, okay, you can bring any React, any TypeScript app into the sort of the equation. You run a few pack CLI commands, it basically then preps it from there, and then you can then sort of, usually locally from Visual Studio Code, you can then sort of debug it from there. What I want to do after I get it into a model-driven app is I want to then see, okay, what can I then do that then relates to either the app itself or Dataverse. So what things I want to potentially try is, okay, can I maybe, for example, have a table in there that basically has all of my Doom WAD files. So anytime I want to play like Doom 2, if I want to play like a Doom mod, whether it's like there's a Seinfeld mod for Doom, if I want to play that, I can just go and create a record. It will then load, bring it in, and do that sort of stuff. So this is the interoperability aspect for me. I think is going to be interesting. So
Still,
watch this space.
I want to see little sprites of Joseph hats
The
from
graph.
our team's chat, and then just shoot on them. I want to have that.
Does that give you comfort? Does that make it
This
so that
could
you can
be
approach
this could be
conversations with me thinking, okay,
no no
I've released
not
all my
about
anger.
this is a never feature then. Just to you don't meet in Teams, you meet virtually in Teams, but the virtual room, which is basically metaverse, which is drastically
Let's not bring that
failed.
back. Let's not bring that back, please.
Will be Doom in the code app. So you're sitting there in Doom in like a pixel view with all of the characters, and then if there's a voting or something, you play like a multiplayer version of Doom, and then whoever wins the round decides on how we're going further.
I think you've clearly got a lot of unresolved anger issues directed
Yeah.
towards specific colleagues in the sort of
No,
business.
not specific colleagues. Just
A colleague, a colleague.
a colleague.
Okay. Well, you know that the retreat that I went on might have helped with those anger issues.
Maybe, but
Maybe.
then anyways, I would need to travel to Great Britain, which is not my favor, I guess.
Yeah.
Never been to
So
England, to be honest.
you've never been? Okay, you got to correct that at some point.
No, I've been to Scotland
We'll get you.
twice.
We'll get you to Old Trafford one day for whenever, if maybe
Yeah,
Munich is
that would
buying
be
a thing or
nice.
something.
Yeah, that would be really nice.
Go see a proper. Go see the best football team in Manchester play. So apologies if you're a City fan, but yeah, I'm declaring my interest there.
No,
But yeah, anger management. Yeah, that's what I kind of, not so much anger management, but sort of just trying to sort of be calmer. That's what the retreat was kind of all about. So do you want to hear more about it?
Yeah, of course. Because I think it was very interesting because people may or as well then want to see or want to hear how you feel with it, how you can transfer this into your stressful life, of course, which is picked and selected with first class tickets, launches, random massages, I think.
Okay, yeah, the
No?
last one I've not
Okay.
been so lucky on, but maybe one day. But yeah, let me tell you a bit more about it. So first of all, shout out to Nigel Hughes who gave me the recommendation for this. So very much appreciate sort of doing that. It was kind of a bit of a we were sort of getting onto some topics, and he sort of said, okay, well maybe you should try this. Go to this sort of 10-day retreat where you can learn this Vipassana meditation technique. Okay, so it's kind of rooted in sort of Buddhist sort of teachings and stuff like that, but it's not a Buddhist retreat. It's not. It's kind of the guy who did it, Goenka, sort of extrapolated sort of the useful parts of it. It's still kind of rooted in a lot of the theory and the theology aspect of it, but it's kind of non-denominational. So you can do it without, if you're Christian, if you're Muslim, whatever, you can sort of do it without having to convert or anything like that. But it's basically like an old technique, thousands of years old, and it's all around trying to sort of manage your what's called your kind of cravings and kind of aversions. So you kind of spend 10 intensive days learning this sort of technique, putting it into sort of practice. And the idea is that, by the end of it, you can sort of then take this in your daily life, do the technique on twice daily for an hour, which is what I've been doing. And it will kind of help you with any sort of, just to get a bit more calmer, to be able to sort of ruminate over things a lot better, deal with some psychosomatic issues if you're dealing with them and things like that. All of that sort of good stuff. But yeah, it was a very intensive 10 days. Do you want me to tell you about how each day was structured? Do you want me to scare you a bit?
Maybe some highlights for sure. I would be definitely interested into that.
Okay, so my first question is, what do you usually do at 4 a.m. in the morning?
At 4 a.m. in the morning, well, usually I get up, look at my phone, and then see it's 4 a.m. in the morning. I'm like, fucking sake. Another 3 hours of sleep.
Yeah, not the retreat. That's the wake up time. The bells ring at 4 a.m. every morning. Bang, bong, bong, bong. Wake up. So
what if I just, let's say, I can't say anything, right? So I can just silently rebel against it. I can just
you
turn away.
can it would not, it'd be frowned upon if you started swearing and screaming, yes, of course. But yeah, you have to sort of deal with it. So bells ring at 4 a.m. You then go and into you're given a cell where you can go and do your meditation in. So you basically from 4:30 to 6:30, 2 hours of meditation, sitting there practicing what the teacher sort of taught you, and that will take you all the way through to breakfast. Breakfast is between sort of 6:30 and 7:50, and you then have a bit of a break before you then go into one of 3 1-hour daily sittings of great determination, where you're all sat in a hall together, where you try and sit still and meditate for an hour without moving, without doing anything and all that sort of good stuff. You have to sit there for an hour.
Silently, not moving.
Silently, not moving, everyone else the same. You have to sit in the position. It's quite tough, and this is what I mean about being physically quite tough, because having to sit in that position for so long, I think I've done something to my back
Yeah.
again as a consequence of doing it. You have to sit on
Like,
the floor
how much does your butt hurt basically after like sitting so much? I mean,
so much, so
you're in
much.
favor because you have a boring office job like every one of us, but still, this is like super inconvenient.
Yeah.
But yeah, and
So
so I
you do
have
that
one
three
more.
times a day as well.
It's 3 times a day.
Yeah.
When do you go to bed when you need to get up at 4 a.m. and can't you
So
just
it's
sleep during the first meditation?
So during the day, you alternate between meditation in the hall. You get some guidance from the teachers there. The teachers there are all volunteers. Everyone who organises the course, in terms of teachers, in terms of the people supporting the course, cooking the meals, they basically do this in their free time without any payment whatsoever. It's really quite amazing. I mean, we talk about us doing good things in terms of community contributions, but these guys are sort of taking things to an entirely different level. They're all just there doing this for free because they want to help people. They want to teach this
Hmm.
technique. It's really sort of amazing. So you spend most of the day doing alternating between meditations, some breaks in between, some guidance from the teachers. You have a discourse every evening from the teacher Goenka, which sort of goes into some of the practicalities behind the technique and all that sort of good stuff. And then usually you'll be finished for the day around about sort of 9 o'clock, and lights out at 10 p.m. So
Okay, that's
you're
still
doing
quite
that
late. Yeah.
every day for 10 days. That is basically your sort of schedule. So it's quite surreal, because by the end of it, I came home and I was like, wow, I'm waiting for a bell to ring to tell me what to do. It's like you become so conditioned to
Back to
that.
your
It's like
toddler.
crazy. Back to a toddler, yeah. But but that sort of having that as like a, okay, this is my day. This is what I know what I'm doing today. I've got time to focus on this. I've got time to sort of do this. It's quite a There's people who go and do this for 10 days. There's people who go and do this for 20 days. There's 90-day retreats people go and do this sort of for. And again, it's all about sort of learning the technique. It's all kind of free based on donations that you can give after the sort of course. And it's all focused on, okay, the philosophy is, okay, this technique has some use and purpose. It can really help people in terms of being able to manage their sort of cravings and aversions, which is one of the main sort of things. So it's our duty to kind of share it, encourage as many people as possible to sort of learn about it, and then spread the sort of love. And that, I like that ethos to it, that sort of mindset. Okay, we're doing this for the love of it. We're sort of giving up our free time. We're sort of we just want to help people. And the people that I met on the course generally were some really, really quite fantastic, lovely, amazing people. So
So you're no part of a cult, am I right?
yeah, I mean, is it as bad as the MVP community? Could you call the MVP community, a Microsoft community, a cult? Or
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
okay,
They're the humble and honored cult of Microsoft, definitely.
yeah. I
Yeah.
think we all naturally, as humans, we gravitate towards those kind of things. But I think, for this particular, there's no kind of obligation after you've done the retreat. When you go to the retreat, you have to commit to stay for 10 days.
Hmm.
That's kind of non-negotiable. So you do have to kind of approach it with a bit of an open mind and just have to sort of go with it. As I say, I'm not going to lie, very tough physically, very tough sort of mentally. I use it as an opportunity to kind of just process some sort of some stuff I was sort of going through. I did break down a few times. I'm happy to sort of admit that, but you are getting to a sort of point where you are on your own. People are there. There's nobody to speak to, and all you've got is kind of you and your own sort of thoughts. So it does give you an opportunity to kind of reflect on some things. It gives you an opportunity to kind of process some sort of stuff. And the end result, I think, for me is that, looking back on certain things, I've got a much more positive outlook as a consequence. So
Hmm.
I think that's really good.
But do you then feel more refreshed, I would say, after retreat, like mentally refreshed?
Mentally refreshed, yes. Physically, no, because it's literally, people say, oh, 10-day retreat offline, or sounds great, it's going to be a fantastic holiday. It is not a holiday. You are there for 10 days to
Mm,
learn this technique. You're working on yourself. Potentially in quite a difficult, quite a challenging sort of way. And if you're not prepared to kind of, as we say, open the hurt locker and take a nice old look into it, then you're going to find yourself not getting the most out of it, I would say.
I can see you. Yeah, I think definitely it's not a vacation or something you can just do on the side. But definitely could be something where you have research in mind, and I think especially with a lot of announcements and the speed of announcements as well in our world, and there is so much things that changing with agents, with AI, with whatever there is. That is definitely something that's quite helpful to deal with a lot of stuff, not only from work but also personal stuff.
We live in a world of constant sort of change. That's one of the things the course sort of talks about, because when you're doing the meditation, you're observing the changing state of your body, you're observing the sensations, you're observing the thing that everything has an impermanence to it. So everything's always changing. The body's always changing. AI stuff is always sort of changing. So by kind of accepting that, you can sort of be, okay, things are changing. It's fine. It's all part of this life, this cycle, all this sort of stuff. I can just roll with it. I can deal with it. I can deal with it in a very calm and a very measured way. I'm not going to get myself stressed out about things that are I've not got control over. I'm not going to be overly precious about craving things or being averse to things. I'm just going to do my own thing and just be happy. So that's probably the key takeaway for me.
Yeah, I think that's a nice outcome and a nice resume then for you. Yeah.
Exactly, but I need to be careful because I sound like I've just, like you say, come back from I've drunk the Kool-Aid when I'm speaking about this all sort of stuff. So if anyone is genuinely interested, then please do come find me, come say hello, or just sort of email us on the address. Happy to share some more details about the retreat, and if it is something that you are interested. But I certainly got a lot out of it, and I said before I wouldn't do it again, but I'm actually considering, maybe I would do it again.
All right. Thank you for sharing all of these insights, because also it's very, very personal and not very easy, I can assume.
Exactly.
All right. There is one more quick elephant in the room we need to address. We already had it very, very quickly during the food feature. There's this World Cup thing going on, and on this day today, it's today, right?
Yeah, but something happened the other day with Germany. I can't quite remember what it was. Maybe you could.
Yeah, they got first place in their group and
what happened? I'm more interested in what happened after that.
I can't remember.
That was embarrassing. That was embarrassing. It has to be said.
I'm in shame about the country, the people, the football nation itself.
It's just
just if you hear some background noises, I have the dogs with me, so and they decided
even they're disappointed. That's why they're moving around.
Even that disappoints me. Even they are disappointed, even though like one of them is not even German. So as someone with a good or sorted background, I would say, on their own football career, which was never meant to take off professionally, I have a lot of strong opinions about that performance at the World Cup. And I don't want to say that I have seen it coming, but I have seen it coming that this will be something that will happen sooner than later. I mean, anyways, next round playing France in the after Paraguay would be impossible. 16, I guess. Sorry, that would be like more embarrassing, I would say, if you do Brazil versus Germany as Germany versus France. So that is definitely something.
Germany versus France. There's a bit of history there.
There's a lot of history in that. So I definitely don't want to be in the center of that. So I take the Paraguay loss with that. Still super embarrassing, and definitely something which I don't want to dig deeper into that.
But even the Dutch are out as well. The Dutch got beaten by Morocco.
Dutch are out. England will go out tonight against Congo.
Yeah, this is it. I shouldn't gloat
Scotland is
too much. I
out.
shouldn't gloat too much because it is going to be the typical England experience. It's going to get to full time, 0-0, and we're going to lose on penalties. This is that we've been trained for years on this being the England experience, and it is going to sort of happen. So
I think like I've not confirmed if this is a true statistic, but in a like knockout game, I do think Germany has, so in penalties, they have missed 4 penalties, and 3 of them they missed against Paraguay. In their history of Germany, they missed like 4 penalties in a penalty shootout in a knockout stage, and 3 of them at the stage.
Well, there is a big focus at the moment with the England team around the penalty shootout. It's kind of inherited I think Southgate was the one who brought it in originally, but even now with Thomas Tuchel as head coach, they're still focusing very heavily
How do
on
you know? How do you call him? Tuchel?
Tuchel. I don't know. He's German.
Tuchel.
Actually, so actually, if Tuchel, I don't know. These weird German names, but actually, you can support England for that reason, Sebastian. If we win, it's a
still
German
England.
victory.
It's still England. Sorry.
But a
I
German
do.
who wins it for England.
I'm not sure about that. I do have one of my team members. He's from Brazil, so I have a good reason to support Brazil. No, so this is going on.
But let's see what
So,
happens. But I am fully anticipating penalty shootouts, and it's going to be a disappointment. This is. I might as well just accept it. If I accept it now, I'm not going to be disappointed later.
Oh, you're already playing with the disappointment. You're already getting in the mood of like, okay, this is not going to happen.
This is the default experience for every England fan. Just expect disappointment. If you expect all this disappointment in your life when it comes to football, things will just be so much more easier because we've seen it time and time and again. The penalty shootouts, the sort of the hope. Okay, yeah, it's coming home. No, it's not coming home. So
it's coming home.
it's
No,
never
it
coming
doesn't.
home.
The point is, I have to do a confession. I turned off TV in the 60 minutes against Paraguay because I was like, nah. Honestly, I prefer some sleep over that. Whatever this kind of sports is, it has nothing to do with football. So
that's a very German response to it. I have to say.
I was just like, no, I'm fed up with this. Don't show me this again. My girlfriend stayed. She was watching and sleeping during the whole match. So she stayed.
So she got so bored she fell asleep.
Well, anyways, she started sleeping at like after 9 p.m. on the couch. So, nevertheless,
but this is actually the first game where it's actually at a half decent time. So it's starting in 20 minutes. So it's going to be 5 p.m. UK time.
So is it already?
Like 10
is it that
p.m.
early? Is it an early one?
Yeah, it's a really nice early one. So hopefully we'll be able to see it. And expecting disappointment, and therefore I'll be happy if it happens.
The interesting thing for all the listeners is that like once this episode is released, is so upset this topic because like the game has happened. We will be much more knowledgeable about who's proceeding to the next round, and everything is already done.
Exactly. So let's see. Let's see. Who knows with this stuff? It's very difficult to predict.
Yeah, absolutely. And with that, I would say let's close it off.
Great.
Do you
So
have
I will
anything to share? You're just going back to meditation.
I'll go back to meditation. I'll just
sending good
stay like this.
vibes to the England
Sending good
national
vibes.
team.
Yeah, I will do a nice little meta sort of meditation. Send good vibes and feelings to Harry Kane, to Marcus Rashford. All those.
Just hoping that German coach will grant you success.
Yeah, please let the Germans save us. Please let the Germans redeem themselves by allowing us to win the World Cup.
Interesting choice. Anyways,
on that bombshell.
All right, and with that, like, comment, and subscribe. Everything what we talked about is inside the notes, the show notes. Would be super happy if you Could share this with your colleagues, with your friends, whoever you want to listen to your half an hour of madness. Or if you do want to do your offline retreat by yourself, reach out to Joe about more personal and detailed insights about this. Maybe I will do that just to get lost and find myself again during this time. So this would be super interesting. But till then, every 2 weeks on a Monday, unresolved dependencies till we solve this dependency eventually at some point.
We're getting there. By episode 100, we'll definitely be there for sure.
I'm still surprised we are like, I mean, there's like one more episode and we're 2 digits, so it's 10 the next episode. So
Just got to keep pushing.
there's like 8 more episodes than I expected, and I'm doing this joke much too often every time. All right, with that, see you in 2 weeks. See you Monday in 2 weeks. Have a good one.
Take care.
Take care.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.